Hello YouTube Nation, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads, bringing you an update this week on Junior's 2004 Dodge Ram 1500. Previous video I said it was a TIPM, but supposedly in that generation they're actually just IPMs. The whole fuse panel and integrated power module, I'm guessing. He did run into some problems. The place that we purchased it from, they refurbed them. So the fuse box that we got right up on the corner was chewed up where the fuse panel lid goes on. The whole issue with these fuse panels is moisture buildup, and it makes it a little difficult to seal the fuse panel off if the corner where the lid goes is chewed up. He'll cover in the video that one of the pins on the bottom that secures to actually rotate up and pull the connection in and lock it in, one of those pins was broken. I'm sitting at home right now, quarantined, because last Wednesday or Thursday, wifey tested positive, and me was yesterday. So, go ahead and watch Junior's video on his update, and go ahead and enjoy and let us know what you guys think. So the refurbished IPM arrived in the mail today. It looked like everything was good to go. Junior will point out some of the things that he found out while he was installing it that we're going to call and actually check on. In this picture you see where the corner's torn up, and that's actually where the fuse panel lid goes on to keep moisture out. And in this picture you'll see that's actually one of the pins where the connector goes on the bottom of the IPM. Hey YouTube, hopefully you're enjoying this video so far. I just wanted to put out a real quick alibi or two. There are some defects we point out with the product. Now you have to keep in mind that doesn't negatively reflect upon the company that we bought it from. Keep in mind they do thousands of these. As Junior points out, they do refurbish, so they'll reuse the same case. He's going to get on the phone with them and see what they want to do. But like he said, it's more cosmetic than anything, except for the top where his fuse panel, the actual lid goes. Because the biggest thing with these IPMs or TIPMs, depending on the generation you have, is the moisture getting in. Also, quick note, from time to time you may see me smoking on here in videos or Junior vaping. Keep in mind that does not at all state that we condone doing those things. Smoking, I'm 47 years old, almost 48. I've been doing it, smoking for, about 30 years. Junior with the vaping. Just keep in mind we don't condone it. Both are very nasty, but they are habits that we have. But again, with the product itself, we have no issue, as you see in the video here to come, the result of using this replacement, this refurbished part. Company had great reviews, not just on their site, throughout the internet, and they were real quick. I mean, we literally ordered it like a day or two after Christmas, and it just arrived today. Even throughout the holiday schedules and everything, they still got it to us quickly. Junior's truck is back up and dependable for right now. If you finish watching, you'll see that. And we're just going on a trial period with it right now, make sure everything's good. They good quality products. Not only do they have the actual IPMs, but you can buy individual replacement plugs. You can buy a full replacement plug set if any of yours are damaged. He does give you the name in the video. So they have a great website. You can go in by year, make, model. You can verify by VIN also. With his, there's actually two different boxes that could work. Last two digits were 33 or 34. They are interchangeable part numbers. So again, just wanted to get those couple alibis out and continue watching.
Hello YouTube Nation, it's Ronnie with RTR Gearheads and Auto Inc. Follow up on the last video that we did. It was mainly on the diagnosis of the IPM in the Ram, the fuse block. Common issue in a lot of these Dodge Ram vehicles, even up to the newest of generations. It's a common problem. Basically, he did a lot of the showing of what the inside of the board looked like last time, not so much on the removal, replacement of it, symptoms, everything like that. So this video is just a replacement video on how to actually get it out. Not going to do so much diagnosis in this video, but mainly removing it, putting the new one in, making sure you put stuff on the plugs, make sure to kind of prevent it as much as you can in the future. As far as this one, the symptoms really were just, it was having a lot of electrical issues. It started last winter, but I'm pretty sure they were going on longer than that. Basically, the headlights would randomly come on, a bunch of lights on the dash would randomly come on, like ABS, airbag, brake light, just randomly flash on for half a second, go off, and then the headlights would stay on for a couple seconds, and really just thought that that was because of LED headlights. So I put in the load resistors for LED lights. In the summertime it worked fine. I don't know if it was just because everything was expanded or stuff was a little bit tighter, but when right back in winter it started to do it again as soon as it got colder. It was kind of annoying, but I was like, whatever, it's probably just LED lights making stuff mess up. Maybe a little bit of a loose plug somewhere, didn't really care too much because the truck ran and drove every single day. Now we're to the point where a couple weeks ago, went to start it at his house on about a week before Christmas. Didn't want to start. Dad diagnosed it, thought it could have been low on gas on a hill for the pickup. Thought that would have fixed it. He put some gas in it, didn't work, put it on the street, started back up, but then all the gauges weren't working when it initially didn't start at his house. And then randomly he got the gauges to work. Like I said, a bunch of electrical issues. I don't like electrical gremlins. This is one of the most common problems. In the last video, if you want to look back at that, go on the channel, RTR Gearheads. Look at the last video he posted. I think there's a photo of inside the box there where you can clearly see corrosion on the board, which happens to pretty much every single one of these at some point. And with 215,000 miles on it, I could believe it at that point. I'm surprised it lasted that long, to be honest. But trying to get who knows how many more miles out of the truck. It is my more comfortable daily driver. It gets everything done, and without a truck, I've realized how much I actually use it. So let's get it pulled into the garage here. We're gonna pop the hood. I'll get back under the hood with you, and we will go from there. All right. So we're back over here under the hood now. Got it pulled in with. We'll leave it with minor inconveniences. It's about just the right size to fit in here currently. We've got the bikes, we've got the Civic, which hopefully we'll be doing some content on the Civic here shortly. We've got the Trans Am behind me, so I mean this whole second half of the garage, we've got it pretty stacked for the winter. So it's in here, but we're back under the hood. I already took the lid off of the module just to make it easier, and it may or may not be being used as a partial stand right now to record, which is fine. But we're going to start with just taking out the battery terminals. We're not going to take the whole battery out, no need to. Really just an inconvenience at that point, but we're going to disconnect both terminals. A lot of people say just do the positive or just do the negative. I'm just going to do both to be safe. Make sure we're not hooked up to anything. That way I don't shock myself or the new module in the process of putting it in. And like I said, this is not really a diagnosis video. We've already done that. Dad already has that video up on the channel. This is more or less just the actual replacement of the module. Pretty much getting all the good bits, because I do hope a lot of people, since this is a common problem, and I know they look up this problem all day long when they are having it, or they look up ways to fix it. Really hoping this video finds those people. Who knows? Maybe they'll subscribe. That'd be cool. Especially for him. He does have personal goals of how many subscribers he wants to reach by certain time frames. And it would be nice seeing that a lot of people own these trucks. Might just look it up, find it helpful, and want more content on, you know, replacing stuff like this, diagnosing, which is the other video. Again, we already went through the symptoms. Didn't have to do too many tests and actual lead chasing. I know a lot of people, there is 2 pins, actually 4 pins on these modules where the front control module or the FCM plug into that are actually the main power. There's a video, a really good video actually, out there showing how to diagnose it from that. But even then in the video, he ended up taking it apart to show the corrosion. So one way or another, it leads us to this and leads us to taking all this out. I am just disconnecting this ground from the body. Makes it a little bit easier to get the negative terminal out of my way completely, just so I can lift everything as nice as possible. I know I'm not in many of the videos on the channel recently, just between work and everything. He is doing a lot more of the work on the Trans Am, everything like that on the channel. I wish I had more time. I will hopefully at some point shortly, you know, just have more time to get some of this, you know, helping him out, getting him done. But I think he's doing a great job as far as maintaining the channel. Like I said, we just want to gain subscribers. He's come home. He doesn't want to leave home anymore. Serve the country. Just wants to do some YouTube, put out some good videos, some good content, and wants to get some really cool stuff done. I know we have the my short bed S10, the Hearst tribute truck, which we're still on the fence on whether it's going to stay a Hearst tribute truck or not. I don't know for sure. I'm really leaning towards LS with everything he's done with the Trans Am, honestly. Fuel injection, that truck is supposed to be, you know, a build where I can hop in it and go during the nicer weather. And, you know, put my woman in, my kid in, stepkid, kid, whatever you want to call him. Nonetheless, my kid. And just go to shows, go to cool stuff together as a family. It doesn't have a bench seat, so maybe when he's older, if, you know, she's at work or something and I want to take him somewhere cool, or if he's in school and I want to go somewhere with her, kind of just hop in and go, but I don't know. Right now I am disconnecting the positive lead that goes into the IPM, which is this whole section right here in the newer models. This and the module connected to it, which you will see shortly, are integrated in the same box. So instead of kind of being like a piggyback like it is in this gen and most of the other older Dodges, they turned it into one unit, which is kind of nice for them, except for the fact that at that point, if it goes bad, everything goes dead. I know personally at an old shop I used to work at, we had a few come in and it would always be some random body function that was causing a problem, and you end up having to replace this $1,400 module. It wasn't that much in this, but in the newer models it is, because it's a whole unit and it actually needs programmed and all this fancy stuff. That I am very glad I don't have to get into on this. So now, as far as replacement goes, once you take off the positive lead and this body mount right here, it should just slide forward in your battery box and come disconnected. I might have some stuff in my way here, just some random wires. The battery could possibly be getting in the way a little bit, but I don't think it is. I feel it sliding, so I know we're there. I'm gonna grab the flashlight. I'll be right back just to see, because I can't see what I'm moving. Anyway, yeah, so that's all it is. We're just stuck on some stuff. I actually think, now that I'm talking, I've been reminded of this. Yep, there it is. Body pop in my way. Sorry for flashing you there. Didn't mean to do that. Yeah, he even said specifically when I picked up the part, which I'll show you here shortly, he said, hey, there is a body pop screw. Make sure you take that out. It's not going to move. And I didn't. Which I'm going to try to one of those plastic guys. Likes to be a little bit of a pain. Okay. This plastic gotta be so tough to get out sometimes. For no reason. There we go. Almost got her. Alright, look at that. Don't put that there. That's a bad idea. Done it before, won't do it again. Don't like being shocked. Now, this should just, yep, just like that. Just slides out. Lift your module here. There's a plug snapped into here that we don't want to be snapped into there anymore. There we go. All right. And then on the bottom of this, if you can see the red tabs, those are locks that Dodge has liked forever, and it is on most of these plugs. So you just gotta push up and pull this guy out of your way. Sometimes you have to start to loosen. You just pop this up. Maybe. Come on now. Okay, fine. Let's try the other one. Again. There we go. That's unbelievably easier than it should have been, or that I made it look out to be. But once you push up, you just turn your connector, and it comes out right here, just like that. It does line up with some tabs on there, which this one, there we go. We did not break this one, it's just loose. Then you're going to do the same thing a few times. Push up on your plug and turn. Here, for some reason, very tough to turn handle. Or if you're like me, carefully pop it up. Emphasis on carefully. Pry up on your plug, or push up on your plug while pushing this, and it will come loose. And there's 7 of these plugs, 5 of which have these locks, and the other 2 should just have normal locks, and they are color coded. As you see, I've got a black plug here, I've got a gray plug right here. The one I'm working on now is a green plug. We actually have covers. It goes on the other side. So now I'm just going to unplug. Oh, that one was loose. Don't be a part of the problem, be a part of the solution. Fix this lock, actually. Push it out. Leave it pushed out. Same thing on this guy. The lock wasn't all the way in, but it could have also been for me pulling it up. And then you've got to flip it over. And again, we've got these red locks here. It's supposed to make it to where it's really difficult for them to come loose, just under normal driving circumstances, because it is just kind of mounted in here. There is a little tray underneath of it too, just to kind of house everything. once you get these plugs about halfway flipped up, when you pull down, they kind of just go the rest of the way on their own. Either way, I'll be careful. And there we are. And that is the removal of the block right there. It took me roughly 10 minutes. Dad was actually the one that took it out the first time. This is my first time actually removing it, and it was that easy. It's not that hard. You've got plastic pop, metal bolt in right here for mounting tab, your battery terminals, and you've got your positive lead. Other than that, there's nothing in your way. You just slide it out of the battery box and you're good to go. I'm gonna be right back. Gotta run and grab the new part real quick from outside, and I'll be back with you. Oh, real quick. This right here, this silver box that's just screwed in there, it's only screwed on by a couple Phillips heads. That is your front control module, which can also possibly exhibit some of these symptoms. Not much, but it does control a lot. Basically, power runs through all three main ECUs. There's the FCM, the IPM, which is where everything kind of comes together, eventually leading to your PCM, but we kind of deduce the fact that if the truck is running and the sensors are working, gauges aren't dead, headlights are, everything works as it should, especially with driving it, even oil pressure, all that. I don't think the PCM's a problem. I really hope it's not. I don't think it is, though. It just, the symptoms don't feel right to me for that. They don't to him either, but it's always a possibility with electrical. Me or him both don't like electrical problems. So I am going to go grab the new part, and I will be right back with you. All right, and we're back. Grab the part, grab my drink. It's raining outside, otherwise I probably would have done this outside, but it's better sound in here anyway. So that's fine. All my tools are in here. But anyway, doesn't take a lot to bring it out. As you can see, the battery's still in. Didn't have to disconnect anything. It's not that hard to replace. The only downfall is if you do want a new one, it's more expensive than finding one on eBay. If you happen to find one at Amazon, if you want to try and junkyard pull one and trust that. But we didn't want to do that. I figured I want this truck to last a very, very long time, more than it already has, for the previous owner and me. And the way to do that is just, if something's broke, replace it with the right stuff. Don't half fix it. Don't go through the problem buying a used part and hoping that one's good, because just like this truck, it still started and ran most of the time. Even if it didn't start, like at his house, right before Christmas, if I popped the relay top open, and literally any relay, it didn't have to be the ADS relay, it didn't have to be a fuel relay, it didn't have to be anything specific, just pull out a relay, pop it back in, probably jarred it enough to do something, it would start back up. But yet in this previous video, you see the corrosion, and see what that caused. So I mean, it can still be a running, driving truck and have a bad module. So we didn't want to chance eBay because none of them showed pictures of the module fully taken apart. Even then, I wouldn't trust buying a part that somebody else already took apart like that. Especially because who knows what they could have messed up. But even then, it's kind of like, just get it new. They are cheaper now, at least for these trucks, cheaper than they used to be. They're so, I would say, moderately expensive. They're not the most expensive thing in the world, but for what may seem just like a fuse block to some people, it could seem a bit expensive, but honestly it's not, especially when you have, I believe they give you a warranty with it. You can send a core back, get some money back. Not that big of a problem. So I'll show you the new module, which we did get from what seems to be a fairly popular company. I've seen them all over on internet forums. As soon as we looked it up once, it started showing up on my ads everywhere. So must be somewhat popular, every company, but pretty sure this is going to be backwards for you. But it's MAKS. Don't know if they just spell it or if they pronounce it Max. But they are rebuilders. It is not a brand new dealership part. From my understanding, they take new boards, everything else new, like the relays, the circuits within it, the boards themselves. But my gathering is, since they accept cores, my gathering is they take the old ones put new parts in them, kind of like refurbished, but with more new parts. Like I said, the video is not sponsored, but definitely a shout out to them. Be cool if it was sponsored, but it is what it is. They pack it really nicely. Comes in a bunch of packing peanuts, sealed in a plastic bag. We've got the Max sticker on there, which I'll show you in a second. Max sticker with the part number, which I believe correlates to the dealership part number, or the one that came out of the truck. They do, I believe, don't rip it, your used core will help someone else get back on the road. I surely hope. Also a link to an installation video. If you don't like mine, you can watch a corporate company one with this really nice family that are holding the same thing for their caravan. Anyway, so that's there. Installing your new TIPM. You don't need to take it to the dealer for installation. You can do it yourself, half hour or less, which we just showed. TIPM will automatically accept a new VIN number as reset. So apparently it'll automatically take your VIN number, which that is nice for the newer models. And it also looks like, if I'm not mistaken here, they give you an advertisement for sending your old one back, and pre-shipped with a 2-day letter. I'm not going to show that too much with the address. Pre-shipped packing label to send the one back, so you don't have to email them or anything like that to get a shipping label if you want 75 back. We did spend north of that on this. I'm not going to go into details, but it was over 500. But again, for a refurbished part that comes with all the fuses, all your relays, brand new. Oh, good thing I took that. Where'd I put that? Brand new relays. Didn't come with a remover, but I'm putting mine back in. Can't go without that. But yeah, literally on my old one, if it wasn't starting, let's use this one for a reference. This is an AC compressor relay. I could literally pull out this relay, not even look at it, pop it back in, and the truck would start back up. It would say light out or some weird stuff like that. But yeah, I will say this one, it does look like the blue plug. It came shipped with a broken tab, which it just helps hold the plug into place. So I'm not too concerned about it. But it would be nice. I'm still gonna install it, but it would be nice if I email about this, that they will send a unit with the promise that I will send this one back. Who knows how that's gonna go. But we need to get the truck running, and I'm not gonna let a loose pin stop me. So we'll just put that right there for now. Put it in the video just so it's there. But this blue plug right here, this tab, if you can see it in my hand right there, broken off of the plug, which is the same place it was broken in my old one. But like I said, there's tabs for the plugs, which you can see are color coded. And that's what holds the plugs into place mainly. So, like I said, this definitely shows that at least the cases are reused. So, not going to knock them on that. I mean, Dodge probably doesn't make the part anymore. It actually looks like they might even make the cases, because if you look, at least the handle, because right here, thanks to my engineering school, there's a clip that it is a removable clip, but it's 3D printed. Instead of formed like that, you can see the difference, how it's got all these little lines in it in the light, and the case itself doesn't. So yeah, they definitely do something with it. Packing peanut. I'm going to unscrew the front control module and screw it onto this one, plug it in. It plugs in right here. There is a diag video where somebody actually tests these pins for the power, but ultimately you still want to disassemble it. to replace it. Where did the screwdriver go? So all I'm going to do is unscrew these. So I can screw this module onto the new one. Somebody's driving outside. Don't know who. Don't think it's my woman. She is out doing some pictures for somebody. A little late. You know, promised her to do maternity photos. Family member of hers, and just life got in the way on both sides. And she's out doing that right now, so I can be in here fixing my truck. As far as we know, that baby can come out any second. It is going to be sort of a longer video, but I'm not a huge fan of a lot of cuts, especially when I'm just recording with my phone right now. We don't have the greatest editing software to put cuts together and transitions, but also I don't see a single video out there that fully shows the replacement of this. So once the screws are out, it is plugged tightly in there, but it does just come out. We're going to move this to the side. I am going to compare both of these boxes real quick just to make sure all the fuses are the same. There are some spare fuse slots that I will probably swap over once this is in. Also, just to make sure I have spare relays, this, that, the other. Yeah, there's some stuff to swap over for sure, just to make sure I have all of them. New one, old one, new one, old one. 10, 20. You do want to make sure all of your relays end up matching. Same thing with your cased fuses. You want to make sure all of those are the same. Which, it looks like one is different, but I'll have to look and see what that is on the lid once I'm done using it. For where you guys are sitting, mind you. But yeah, mostly everything's the same. Other than fuses, the plugs are the same. Yeah, green, black, silver, green, white, blue, white, blue, white, white. So we're gonna put this front control module on here, and I am gonna put dielectric grease on these. The main issue of why these go bad to begin with is underneath of where this box sits is just wide open. Right in front of your wheel well, wherever water shoots up, it pretty much blasts the bottom of these plugs, which starts the corrosion process inside the board. So I am going to install dielectric grease. That way it doesn't waterproof it, it does make it water resistant, but it'll definitely help any electrical component to just have a little bit of protection. Just gonna put a little dab on my finger, start to rub it across, make sure I don't jam the plugs in there, but just put them across just to kind of cover them, and when I plug it in, it'll break through it. Maintaining contact, put some pins here without bending any. Do not bend your pins or they will not plug back in. That should be common sense. I'm going to put them around the seal of the plug. All right. Pop it back on there, which I believe it goes on this way. Just line your holes up. Pop it in. Make sure you get it fully sat. I saw some generations of these trucks. For some reason, it was on a lot of Cummins forums that there's a gap when you install the FCM onto their IPM that for some reason would cause too little of a connection on one of the pins, causing some light issues. But I think that was mainly on the Cummins forums. I don't know if he's going to show the video full way through or if he's going to put cuts in between a lot of my talking. I'm just talking so you're not watching a super silent video. He could time lapse it, put some music on it or something. He probably won't do that to my talking parts. that I'm doing. Just because some of it has information, some of it's a lot of rambling. Is what it is. But I just don't want to have a silent video if he does not put any cuts in it or times lapse any of this, but it also shows you real time how long it takes to replace. I haven't disconnected anything without showing you. I haven't looked at anything without showing you. Haven't unplugged anything without showing you. This should be a real time of somebody replacing this. I have been a tech for years. Thanks to Dad, I've been doing a lot of these restoration things with him off camera. On the Trans Am, on the white S10 before he ever had the channel. We restored a couple other S10s before, newer ones, older ones, a homemade convertible one. We didn't homemade it, we just fixed it. So for me, it's kind of common sense. A lot of this stuff, or at least looking wise, for someone else, it may take a little bit longer, but realistically that was just a plastic cap in there blocking where that plug goes. Like I said, I really think the case is repurposed altogether, but the internals are all new. I can definitely see where this case was reused. There's some spots now that I'm seeing that I'm gonna have to dielectric grease. Not dielectric grease, at least help seal a little bit better, because there is some pieces that are a little broken. Not broken, just looks like someone tried to drill out the case right here because they didn't know how to get the main board out to look at it to see what the problem was. All in all, it looks good. I can only see two spots. One with this drill hole that doesn't touch anything at all, and then one right here. I'll show you. It's upside down, but it's that corner right there. So I'm definitely going to put, once I'm going to put the lid on, which I probably won't show in the video because again, that's our stand right now. I may show it in the video, but we're definitely going to make sure to seal that up because I don't want any moisture getting in here at all. But now we're just going to mess with our plugs to get them back in. Got our blue one. Which we're going to turn over here so you can see. Which, it's easy again. Once you get this mainly put in, your tabs should be lined up. This is the one with the messed up tab, which is okay, because it seems to be holding pretty fairly in there. But then you push down your lock, and now it no longer moves. So if you do have a pin that's broken, or you're just fixing yours, it's okay, because it's not going to go anywhere once you pop the lock at all. It can't go anywhere. This can't come up because the lock blocks it. That's what they made them for. So if it does happen to you and you're not replacing or ordering a new one, you'll be okay. I believe this one, that's a black plug. We need white. It should be this one. There is two whites. I'm just paying attention, but see how I lined up my tabs and it automatically started moving that handle? That's what it'll do for you. You just finish pushing it down till it hits the plug and push down your lock. And now it's not going anywhere. So we're gonna turn this now, get our green plug in. Oop. Had to stop me. I did not put grease on these yet, so we're going to rewind a little bit. I was getting ahead of myself, excited to get it in. Yep. So pull this down. Unplug us from here, because I need to do my grease. Pull this back out, get our grease. Just gonna put some on the corners so I can wipe it across. I don't like jamming it in there because I don't want it to block any contact. Granted, it is a conductor, that's its main purpose. But we're gonna put them here. And we're also going to put them on the case end. That way we have it on both sides. Again, it'll break through and you'll be fine. Again, I'm just putting a little bit on my finger or on the plug. Just getting it in there a little bit. Not too much. Just kind of giving it a layer of protection on top of the plugs. So when they go in, they stand a little bit better of a chance. From what I understand, back in the day when you got one of these replacement modules from Dodge, they came with a piece that was a splash shield underneath of it. I have yet to ever see one. I've searched everywhere for one just to see what it looks like. I can clearly see where it would go. There looks like a piece it would just slide into. I'm probably just going to make my own because I can't find one. I'm not going to go to Dodge to get one because odds are they're going to tell me it's just not made anymore, or they're going to say, oh, well, you can only get it if you get the full module, which hopefully doing this, we will not need to do that. Hopefully this module is what fixes the problem. That way I'm not paying for electrical diag. It's not happening. I'll figure it out on my own at that point. We have manuals for this stuff. We have manuals that shows us how to do these things, helps us electrical diag. Taking a break for a minute. Back hurts. We have stuff for this, to put it lightly. Now granted, if you do have the extra money and you do want to take your vehicle to the dealer, there's nothing wrong with them. They do good work. Technicians there are usually always certified. They're always as nice as you can be in your area. But it's just a little bit more expensive, especially with after COVID, and now we're in 2023. It's actually the first video that's going to be on this channel in 2023. The money's changing a little bit. We didn't have to pay anything in diag, obviously, because we did it. He did most of it, but it was actually at his house for a couple days and he did it. So we didn't really have to pay for diag, we just had to pay for the part, and now I'm putting it in. So no labor, no diag, cost. That's all we need. You can still do things by yourself. You can still do things on your own. I don't know everything. He doesn't know everything. We learn day by day. So if you want to repair it yourself, finding videos like these, and hopefully our channel does help you. Now granted, not everyone's LS swapping Trans Ams or working on Civics or rebuilding S10s, but hopefully our videos help you somehow. And if you want more content like it, please follow, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you want the notification thing, I'm not going to harp that to you. Videos I watch, I find that notification bell pitch very annoying sometimes. So I'm not going to preach it to you, but it would be nice. He does try to post videos pretty regularly. That way you guys have content to look at for stuff like this, and we're not the most popular channel yet. He hopes to be. I hope he does. I mean, a lot of the younger guys in YouTube, they're doing all these videos, with all the transitions, this, that, the other, which one day we will get to. We just don't have the software for it, or to put it quite honestly, the following for it yet. But for sure, if that's the type of styles you like, I'm definitely interested in doing them. I know he is, but I know I am especially. That way stuff like that can get done. But also just to kind of make the videos a bit more flashy, which you don't always need. But if you want it, we'll look into it. But we definitely need people to watch so he can continue doing what he does and putting up content for you guys. I seem to have lost the plug in the process. There it is. They're all bundled together, so you can't really lose them, so don't worry if you think you are. But yeah, so you go in like this. Clips line up. push down, push our lock down. You're locked in. You can't go anywhere. Same thing here. No. Okay, it can't go somewhere if you don't push it all the way down like I just did. Same thing. Line up your pins. Push up. Push your clip down. Push in your lock. And you can't go anywhere. A lot of mechanics hate Dodge for those clips, but they're very useful in a lot of applications, especially like this. Get our green plug with our lock, which goes in like so, maybe, kind of, sort of, like that. Make sure to take our screwdriver and push in our lock. Probably should have plugged the smaller guys in first. Oh, that's okay. Slipped off the battery box. No harm, no foul. We are locked in there. Get this one. Push it in. Back. Fisher in there and push our lock in. Just like that. Our look for black. Losing plugs now. Line up your tabs, push in, down, and lock. Fair to say, it's probably my favorite plugs I've seen from Dodge so far, to be honest. One more plug to go. Fix our plug here. It's kind of broke. Again, it's okay. Line up your tabs. Boom, we're locked in. Now, just take our harness here, which is a little caught up at the moment. It's just caught up because it's a big harness, that's all, it's not hitting anything. At least I think. There we go. Nothing's unplugged. Check this side just to make sure before we go plugging everything back in, or putting it back in, I should say. Where do ours? So now we're going to put it in here, and again, it will line up with these tabs. Slide it in. Slide back and boom, you're in. Now you just put your bolts in and you're good to go. In. Let's tilt you guys forward. There you go. You're here. I'm here. We'll find that in a minute. Put our plastic screw guy in. Pop them in there. Go. Found it. That's where he went. Told you I'd find it. Oh, I've been blinding you that whole time. I apologize. Kind of, sort of. Casualty. Right through the tattoo. That's the way to do it. If you don't mess up your tattoo, you're not doing it right. You might fast forward through this part just because you already saw it and because I'm not talking as much. Damn, that hurt. Possibly. He might, he may not. I don't know. We want to make sure this isn't touching at the moment because we want to put our positive lead back onto the IPM before we hook it up to the battery. I just don't want to shock it or anything like that. It looks like it's already coated from them. They give you a new, there's a new connection in there for it. Because the ones on the old ones get a little corroded at that terminal right there. Right there. Get a little corroded. There's a little bit of green on there. I might put some grease on that. Yeah. Let's coat that. Just a little bit. Just a hair. Maybe prolong that a little bit more. I'm also going to grab a wire brush real quick. Clean off the one on the car side on the harness. Just make sure we have full contact on it. Get any green stuff off of here. Green is bad when it comes to electrical. If you have connections that are corroded, that means they are not going to make contact when they do it more. Corrosion will break contact, it'll run out your connections, and you'll get into problems like this. So you want to make sure you clean all that off. Again, I am putting some dielectric on there as well, just to help it out a little bit. Prolong its lifespan. You could also just replace this positive lead to it at some point, it looks like, but it does go into the harness. So you can always cut it, put a new connection on it. But as you can see, I did not do that. Which is okay, because you don't need to. Just clean it off and you're good to go. Don't take more apart than what you need to. Just tighten her up here. You don't want to go the mighty Thor tightening this stuff. You're gonna end up ruining connections, you're gonna end up breaking wires. And there's no need for them to be super tight. So I've got it a little bit tight and we're just gonna give it a little nudge so it doesn't come loose in the future. And that is a 3D plastic bracket. That's there, covered up. We're gonna put on our negative first. Then hook up our positive. Headlights just clicked on for a second. Means we're getting something. I won't start it without you guys, but I will have to move you guys for a second to make sure I'm getting everything. I'm going to tighten up this connection a little bit. Should have placed this terminal bolt. I'm not going to though. Probably would be good for it. Still not going to. One day I will. It's just a bolt. Tighten up our positive. Dad's messaging me while I'm recording the video. I can't click your message at the moment, but I see what he said about vice grips on the spinning side. I already eradicated that problem. Tighten our positive lead up. Cover our positive back up. And realistically, we're done. I am going to actually, there's a lot of spare fuses in here that are not, a lot of spare fuses in the old one that are not here. I'm going to swap those over real quick. Actually, nope. Gonna make sure she starts before we do that. So I'm going to take you with me here. I'm going to move everything out from under here. Go over, turn the key on, and we're going to see what we get. What's coming on? Flip you around. Don't mind my signage. Got our door chime. Fuel pump, everything's working. Gauges sweeped. Truck started. ABS and brake light came on for a second. But I think just from starting, before I took out that old one, right here, the lamp out indicator would come on now when I started it. And then we'll go off a couple seconds. We've got all of our lights. As far as I can tell, a lot of guys with the same problem actually say their lights don't work. Do I have fog lights? Let's see. Yeah, I do. I see them light on. Got all of our lights. I do have an exhaust leak that I do need to address. Got our tail lights, tag lights. My plate's in the video, but that's okay. I don't know if you caught it or not. Radio's on, everything is on. So, I'm gonna finish wrapping up the video, and I'm just gonna put, basically, the fuses that aren't in the new one, the spare fuses, I'm gonna confirm what they are before I do anything. Swap them over from the old one just so I have all the spare fuses. We're gonna just put the cap back on, and realistically, it's gonna be driving it and making sure that none of the issues we were having happen anymore. That's the biggest concern, but the fact that the lamp out indicator didn't come on right away, everything works, it started right away for sure, I think we'll be in good shape. We can do an update video after about a week or two of driving it. We'll find out, just to make sure everything's good. But I would imagine, I mean, we've got grease on everything, we've got protection, we've got a new lid, new box, all new relays and fuses. I mean, I don't see a way where it could have gone any better, other than maybe the case not having pieces that are clearly used. That would be my only gripe with it, but they're not that bad, and I can fix it. I can just put some stuff on it. Before putting the lid on, I could also, mold something to it. I could inject some plastic in there just to kind of build it back up. I want to make sure it fully seals so no water or anything else gets in there, just to alleviate this problem ever again. to 2004, so it lasted 18 years, 20, 22 years, 20 year, 18 years. Sorry. Without a much of a problem, nothing that really sat me on the side of the road. Luckily, when it did break or start failing, it was at Dad's house. Otherwise, I probably could have been somewhere, but realistically, it would have just been work. But yeah, no. So I'm gonna get everything cleaned up here, and then I'm gonna test drive it. I do have some places I need to go. Gonna test drive it and see how we do. Dad will have an update for you. This video should be coming up soon for you. It's a couple days late, or 1 day late, but Happy New Year. Look forward to the content we're going to put out in 2023. I feel like there's definitely going to be some Civic content. She is hiding over there under that cover behind the bikes. She's been hiding. It's been a lot of a decision process on what needs to happen with it. But I think we're just going to get it back on the road for now, which even then, I mean, it's still a turboed EG hatch SI, which you don't see clean examples of anymore, which is why I just want to get it on the road. There's definitely going to be some Trans Am content for sure. Dad's still got to line up the body, clean up some wiring, get the fuse block mounted, but it still runs and drives as it is now. He's got to do some exhaust stuff. There is going to be some S10 videos as well, whether it be the white one or the green one, the square body or the newer style. Don't exactly know what content yet. Last thing you guys saw, I believe, was the exhaust video on that. The only thing I've done since then is I did replace the transpan gasket. It is still leaking a little bit. I'm pretty sure someone flattened the span earlier in that transmission's lifetime. So I'll have to fix that, either get a new pan, aftermarket one, or just form that one, or fill it with something basically on the seal to get it sealed. But either way, we'll get it figured out. But we have content coming for you guys. Thanks for watching. This is Ronnie from RTR Gearheads and Auto Inc. See you next time.
Well, there you have it, YouTube Nation. That was Junior going through replacing the IPM on his 04 Dodge Ram. He's actually currently taking it out on a test drive right now. And once we get all that together, we're putting this up so you guys can see. We got more to come on our normal projects. Once I'm able to leave the house again, I plan on going to work on the Trans Am. I have to tweak the exhaust a little bit to get it for good clearance. Still have to get the inner fender wells bolted up. I have a strong feeling I'm going to end up having to pay somebody to straighten the front end up for me, as far as the fenders and the hood and the nose lining up. It's just too tedious a task for me, and Tommy has a very, very stringent schedule right now, which brings me to the point also, hopefully we'll be getting an update from him shortly, because it seems like ages since we had anything on the Apache here. I can tell you that it's actually getting towed to where he works part-time, and right now he has the torque converter bolted up also. When he gets to a shop, they're going to measure for the drive shaft end, and hopefully we'll be able to see that thing actually move under its own power. Again, like I said, Trans Am, I might start working on my Harley. The Jeep Wrangler should be getting picked up shortly, actually, from PJ and his wife. I will probably get a Harley also after that to be working on. The 2005 CBR is still making arrangements so my friend could be down where the bike's actually located, and Junior and I can go down there to pick it up. Once that happens, we'll get it up in the shop and start doing the maintenance on it, catching everything up, just like PJ's Harley. It's going to be catching up on all the maintenance. And then with the CBR, we're also going to be troubleshooting some stuff. It does have a coolant leak. Wasn't too sure on if it could have been a hose or a radiator cap or whatever. So we'll be doing some troubleshooting with that also. Junior also might be working on his Civic soon. So the Olds S10 is probably coming back to the garage for storage for the winter. But again, I want to thank all you guys for watching. Thank you for those who have subscribed already. We're at 145 now. Very far from what we're trying to get, but without some people subscribing, we don't know that the content is interesting to anybody. So without their subscriptions, it very quite shortly might go away where we're not uploading videos anymore. until we know that the interest is out there. As you'll see with Junior, when he's in this video shooting everything, I'm at my house sick and quarantined, and he's trying to do the work and shoot also the video. So to make that coordination, it requires a lot. You can ask anybody out there that does YouTube, that does the very extent detail-oriented videos. Like I said, got 145 subscribers now, plenty of viewers. I'd like to thank the 145 that are subscribed, and hopefully we can see those numbers go up, because I have a personal goal for July, and if that number doesn't get hit by July, then it's not the time that it takes and what it costs us to actually do the videos. We might end up having to put a pause on it for a while, because that'll be close to the time that my retirement goes through also. And if I can't get the subscriptions, then I'm going to end up having to return back to my other federal job. So go ahead and hit like, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. Again, this is Ron from RTR Gearheads. Thanks for watching.